under a microscope, right? Which is why I said I understand what you're saying. Hair that's comprised together. All of the elements come together to make up hair. But in order to hold on to the elements, what they look like is these pieces on the side are called peptide bonds. But when I do it over and over and over, what's happening is it didn't just stop at this one small little piece with the way hair is made up. In order for hair to continue to grow with blood flow, it kept growing, but it grows so fast. What we see, or what they teach, I should say. Did I do this right? Okay, whatever. What they're teaching is when you look at here versus if it's a lot of them, and all of a sudden I start seeing curves, right? The best way for me to do this because my brain doesn't. What you see is on this side of it, I'm doing it, but I have it here, I have it here. And all I'm doing is I keep making it to the point to where now it just looks like this under a microscope. You no longer see under a human eye carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur. What you see is a helix or a spiral shape. Yeah, go ahead.
So is that in the cortex?
Can you come on this side?
That's in the cortex?
In the cortex, absolutely, and it's making up the hair. Absolutely.
And it's always in together with polypeptide?
Polypeptide.
But if you break the polypeptide down and just look at the basics, that's where you get the peptide.
Right,
Okay.
yes. Just no different from,
But a polypeptide made up of the peptide. So the peptides don't exist, it's like all it's always in.
they're always gonna be in a polypeptide part. They're just teaching you how this was made up of. Just kind of like when I say carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur. When I'm saying cones by itself, you're not just dealing with cones by itself. You're dealing with multiple carbon, multiple oxygen, multiple. You see what I'm saying? You're dealing with multiple cones. They're just telling you take one carbon from a periodic table, put it with oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur. And they're saying this is how hair was made up. But on the side bonds of it, on this side of it, right? On the side bonds, there's only 3 of them. And in the 3, they're causing the hair from the physical phase to change from the physical phase to the chemical phase. They're determining, is this my physical phase or is this my chemical phase? Understand a little bit more? Anybody? Anybody else lost? You guys are welcome to ask questions. No? If I'm being honest, when I first started school, I did not understand this. It took me a few times to hear it. When I got through graduating, I understood, well not graduating, I think my last week in school, they were talking about chemical relaxers. And it was still going over my head, I'm just like, whatever, there's no point. Let me just give me the answer so I can pass the board. But I wanted to understand it for myself. But for some reason, something stuck in my head about disulfide bonds. If I have 2 sulfurs, right? 2 meaning, some 2s mean bicycle, right? Like bicycle, 2 wheels, right? But the 2 meaning di. I understood when you have twins and they look the same, when you break it, you're gonna put it back together, right? So the way I look at this is, anybody ever, forgive me if this goes over your head, but I think this makes sense to me, so maybe it'll make sense to somebody. Can I get 3 people, 6 people, possibly? Like 3 people here and then 3 people here. Can I get 6 volunteers? Yes, there you go. All right, now, if you guys can do me a favor, the ones on the side, take one arm and link it with one person. That's your, can everybody see this? Link it with each other. That's your peptide bond. Can everybody see that? Sorry. That's your peptide bond. All right, now across from each other, technically, what would happen across from each other, that's in our ladder-like shape. Does that make sense? And every time I go and put, if I'm doing a permanent wave, and I go in, right? I'm a permanent wave right now. These guys are just bonds. So no, do it again real quick. Yeah, somehow make it work. Yeah, there you go. However, yeah, there we go. That works. I like it. All right. What I'm gonna do is when I put the waving solution on, right? It's above 7.0. What I'm doing is I'm going in and I'm busting these down. Can everybody see that? Okay? What happens when I put the neutralizer, when I put the rod shape on, now they are going to form a new shape, right? So now they are in like a rounder shape. Make a circle. Can y'all see that? Cool. Can everybody see what we're doing? They're making a shape, right? But they were broken, technically, drop your arms. They're broken and they're kind of like willy-nilly, right? Like in cyberspace type thing. Until we go and we put the neutralizer on. When I put the neutralizer on, then they come back together in their newly formed shapes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, y'all give me a hand. So, and some things are probably never make sense to a lot of us, but hopefully somewhat of that makes sense. All right, 0.0. Now you didn't just break it. With permanent waves, we broke it and we put it back together because the pH balance wasn't that serious. When I break it 12.5 plus, I've also peeled this guy out, right? Leaving one sulfur left. But what you don't say on say board, because they're gonna ask you, whether a chemical relaxer, one of the side bonds, or after one of the sulfurs are gone, what is it now called? And they're gonna call it, one of the questions may say a sulfide bond.
Oh,
Y'all understand what I'm saying?
lanthanide bond.
That's it. It's no longer called a disulfide bond. This twin now lost his twin. And now he's stuck by himself. But he's not called a sulfur or a sulfide. Say again.
Well, go ahead.
What he's called now, L,
They gave it
right?
a different name.
But now it's called a lanthanide bond. This is when a lot of stuff clicked for me in school. Oh, because S by itself don't exist. We're not talking about the salt bond, we're talking about the sulfurs. You can't just say, oh, it's one sulfur by itself. That doesn't make sense. Not in here, it doesn't make sense. If you got one sulfur, you got two sulfurs. We call it disulfide.
So then what's lanthanide?
A lanthanide bond is a S by itself, but now it's reformed into an L bond. What it is just a completely straight, it's a weak, it's completely weak. And it's not gonna have as much fortified, it's not gonna, when you shampoo, like if I completely flat iron my hair right now and I shampoo it, it's gonna go back to its curly hair, right? But when I put a relaxer on it, it's gonna still stay into, it stays into a completely straight form. Obviously, I have to use neutralizer to keep it locked into that shape as well. But if I don't, it's gonna break off.
It's like a widow.
It's like a widow, yeah.
So you change the shape, it can't return on its own.
Yeah, we should be like
That's
L or lanthanide.
Yeah, that did it for me.
That is what
So when you're doing a chemical process, do you actually sever the peptide bond or does it just break it down?
breaks it down.
So it's still intact and whatever you put to neutralize it, it comes in and basically
Refortified.
revamps.
Yes. It revamps or reforms it into that new shape. If it's a permanent wave and you put rods on it,
Yeah.
it's gonna revamp it into
So
that
it
new
like,
shape.
it like patches the peptide bond.
Yes.
Okay.
It puts it back together, yeah.
So as
Now-
long as, sorry,
No,
as
go ahead.
long as you stay below technically the 2.5 mark, 12.5 mark, sorry,
Yeah.
you wouldn't destroy the polypeptide bond. And you can still, at a point, reform it. But after you pass that point, there's no return.
Right, I'm trying to find
Is that a
this.
fair way of stating it?
That's fair. So yeah, and when I'm dealing with, so true acid waves, so people will say, well, permanent wave is true acid waves. Why would we do that? Why would we use a true acid wave? Because somebody may have very sensitive scalp, or somebody may have already gotten a perm. It didn't really turn out the way I liked it, or maybe the person made a mistake, or maybe the rods were too loose and I want to tighten it up. So if I go and I put a true acid wave on there, a true acid's pH balance is anywhere between 4.5 and 7.0. Glycerium monothiocarbonate. The video yesterday. GMTG, it's a lower, it's like a milder perm. It's chill. It's not really damaging on the hair.
So you're not using chemicals, that's just, you're just
It's-
getting it wet,
That's
shaping
acid.
it.
It's still acidic, yes. It's still
No,
acidic.
I'm not talking about chemical process in the
Oh.
hair, I'm saying you're not using an external chemical in that process. Like a true, what do you call it?
True acid wave.
True acid wave, there's no,
It's a chemical, but it's a very low chemical. It's
Oh,
a very
okay,
mild
okay.
chemical. So like if,
what is it?
right,
Is that what the actual chemical's called, true
like,
acid wave?
True acid wave is the chemical in it is glycerol monothiazide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, let's say right now, if Zach came in, right, he's got like perfect, beautiful blonde hair. And he grew it out some, he says, Miss Yasha, I want a perm. I would say, hey, let's do a 2-acid wave on you. Because it's still gonna give him a wave, it's still gonna change his texture, but it's gonna be a very mild form of it. So that way it won't fight the bleach. Does that make sense? If somebody has, like, if they have sensitive scalp, if their hair's already been chemically processed, you gotta know when to use this stuff. And the reason why they put out the pH balances and the numbers is very confusing. I used to hate that part. Even when I was teaching, I'm like, how am I gonna remember to teach this stuff to these students? I don't even remember it, right? But I had to start training my brain to think, why would they, oh, true, because it's really it's acid, it's acidic. Anything below 7 is acidic. And the fact that it's a 4.5 to a 7.0 GMTG, it's acidic. Our hair, skin, and nails is 4.5, 5.5. So I understand why you're saying it. It's really a chemical because we're already at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking in practical terms, like.
I understand that. No,
is
I
that
totally understand
True
what you're
acid
saying.
wave, is that just, okay.
Yeah, but it's a chemical that's a low mild chemical. Still opens up the cuticle, still opens up the cortex, but very mild open up the cortex. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Alright? It raises the cuticle pretty much. Alright, then when I'm dealing with thiol-free waves, thiol-free, like 9.0, 9.6, ATGs, ammonium sulfite 6.5 and 8.5. I'm just giving you numbers so you can understand, but guess what, y'all? A lot of our shampoos are 8.0. I'm already over my cuticle. That's why I tell y'all, you don't have to shampoo your hair every single day. You can tell your clients, if they're the ones that shampoo their hair every single day, why don't you rinse it real good, right? You can use you can tell them to use a, what's the word I'm looking for? You can tell them to use a, sulfate-free shampoo. Apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, all that's down here, but it will clean your scalp. But so will water. Water really will get a lot out. You're opening it 100 times. Do I say do that every single day? No. When Bella shampooed my hair, she felt it. My hair was so dirty. Because of the braids, I had it in for what, like 6 to 8 weeks or so? But even before that, in October, my hair was just flat ironed, and I hadn't shampooed it since before I flat ironed my hair. But I also don't shampoo my hair anyway, all the time. I may go once a month, every 6 weeks. Most people look at that and say, Miss Asha, that's gross. No, I don't use shampoo. My scalp can't take shampoo every single day. It'll really be dried out like crazy because of 8.0. If you do that every single day, yes, you want to put conditioner on it, but every single time you do it, there are some shampoos you guys are going to find. At the very bottom, it may have like 2% in it, but the very bottom of it will say hydroxide relaxant. Kills me. Can't even understand it. Why in the world would you put hydroxide? And you wonder why a lot of us with textured hair, why is my hair starting to loosen up? My hair is not as curly as it used to be. I've been using the shampoo and something's changing and I don't know why, because it's got hydroxide in it. They got chemicals in the shampoo. And a lot of it is for people with like, what do you call it, locks, right? Or if people like me that keep my braids up forever, right? And then when I finally take it down, I need to get all that gunk out of there. That's what it's for, all right? So, caustic chemical pH balance, I talked about this yesterday. You guys are welcome to grab the flip chart later and take pictures of it. I'd like to finish this off as much as I can.
Can we do it in a dance class in the classroom?
Chemical phase on relaxing, you're relaxing the hair. The 2 phases that you're dealing with. You're dealing with a chemical phase, you're gonna start with that. You're sectioning the hair, you base the scalp down, you gotta protect it. What you asked me before yesterday, I didn't get to this part. But you asked me, can you put something on the hair that's already been processed, right? Or can you just do it regardless? That video I showed you guys yesterday with the black girl getting her hair with a version relaxer, on that video, you can put the protector cream everywhere. The chemical's so strong, it's gonna eat through that too. But I'd rather slow it down some. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Okay. So you don't want to shampoo your hair 48 hours. So 48 hours after your last shampoo, if somebody comes in and they say, hey, I just shampooed my hair yesterday, but I need a relaxer today. I'm gonna say, I'm sorry, you got to do it. Your chemical, your scalp is too compromised. Your pores are still open, right? Not necessarily pores, but your pores are still open. We gotta close that down some, okay? Use applicator brush, what you guys were using yesterday, the person was doing yesterday, which, same thing for color brush. Apply proper strength, whether it's mild, regular, super, how do we know that? That's part of that consultation. Do I have fine here? Is my density real thick, right? Strain test. Is it porous? Is my hair, has it been damaged before? Can it hold it? Right? That's what I would know. If I can use it at all, should I use a mild or regular? I never recommend super. Alright? Before application, apply protective cream around the whole base of the hairline and ears for protection, also throughout the scalp. The physical part is when I'm finished with it. If the product is left behind, will cause damage to the scalp and hair burns, so you have to make sure that you completely finish your shampoos. If you gotta use 5 shampoos, we mostly recommend 3 shampoos, not 2. Sometimes 4, and it's always color coded. They have some type of color inside of the shampoo, it's a chemical in it, that if you still have color, every time you shampoo, if you still have relaxer in the hair, it's gonna turn pink. Every single time, it's kind of like a worldwide thing at this point when it comes to relaxers, just so you know. If I shampoo it again, ooh, I still see pink suds. Shampoo it again. Rinse it all out, shampoo it again. Rinse it until you see just white. If you still see pink, there's still product in it. So try to rinse it out as much as possible even before you put a shampoo on. Applying the chemical section of hair first. I just showed you guys what this looks like when it comes to sectioning. All right, combing or smoothing with the back of the comb. Y'all see I just put these combs on there with the spine of the comb. Never recommend it for you guys to actually use teeth of the comb. I had a lady come in and one of my clients, she couldn't get to me in my schedule. She came to the school that I worked at the time, and one of the students did not listen to us when we were teaching. And what she wound up doing was taking a brush. Like, I'm talking about bristles, I'm not talking about a paddle.
Wait, start. What process are we using the spine?
The spine of the comb after you finish the relaxer?
After we washed it out.
No, before you wash it out. After you apply the product on there, then you want to go back in and you want to smooth it down with the spine of the comb.
Okay.
You put it together to make sure it's all taken care of. But she used a bristle brush, like boar brush, you know what your wave brush looks like? Mm-hmm. She used a brush like that and brushed it all the way through the scalp. My feelings were so hurt. And before I came out the classroom to come and check and see how she was, it was from scalp to ends, but I had just colored her hair before and I made her wait 6 weeks so we can have enough new growth to just do a chemical relaxer retouch. And she went and brushed that scalp all the way through. And her hair was burning like crazy and a lot of her hair fell out. So you gotta be very careful. All right, timing and testing is extremely important. Always go by the manufacturer's instructions, but chemical relaxer is so high. Drano, think about stuff like that. Once you apply, it's already working. It's no, oh, well, how long, Miss Yasha? I can't say 10 minutes. I can't say 5 minutes. It really just depends on what the person's hair looks like. It depends on how thick the hair is, okay? Rinsing and shampoo and blotting stops chemical reaction, allows neutralizers to work more effectively. The shampoo is the neutralizer. It's called neutralizer shampoo. All right, shampoo 3 to 4 times until color activated is out. Clear water and no more relaxing residues left over. You can feel it feels like it's slimy. A lot of people forget about the back of the neck because of the way we're, you know what I mean, the way we're laying in the shampoo. We have the pine. So you gotta make sure that you lift that pine up, take that nozzle to the back of the head. Same thing with color and lighting. You gotta make sure you get it all out of it.